still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? If I find my way home, yeah. If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? If I find my way home, yeah.
This is the moment for those who.
1, 2, here, let's go back.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I am Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha, and man, it's Wednesday. It's hump day, middle of the week for everybody, so let's get some work done tonight, shall we? We're going to be working on the shield, the Jesta's shield today. Got a little blocked up in terms of ideas for the backpack, so I put that off to the side for a few minutes. Had a bunch of ideas for the shield. Wanted to get those kind of in the plastic and everything, and if you saw the heads up, the 30-minute warning image, you've seen a couple of things that I've done with the shield, and we'll go over that here a little bit later. But first, let's take care of a little business, shall we? Child of Mecha t-shirt. Gotta love my own logo, right? So if you want one of these, you can check out the Child of Mecha store. Hit up childofmecha.com, click the button at the top, hit the store. You will be taken to a magical, wonderful world of Gunpla merchandise, including shirts, hats, and bags currently. Other stuff in the near future, definitely. Like I said, I got the pillow prototypes on order. I got word that those were shipped out today. So hopefully by beginning of next week, we should have those pillows that I can actually show you guys. Ordered 2 of the decor style pillows, and man, I think they're gonna be really cool. So hopefully you guys will like them. Hopefully they get here sooner rather than later, right? Win this model. You can win this model. You could win that very model if you enter the Gunpla Talk fundraiser/giveaway. One lucky donor will win that very model, along with some other, kind of mixed in goodies. And 6 other winners will win the little miniature resin busts from our good friend Win, Mr. Paint Pusher over there on Facebook. He sent us 6 of those, along with some really cool autographed cards of his little Gundam kind of portraits and things, the painted portraits. They're really, really cool. I love those things. So 6 donors will win those, and then some more donors will win some additional prizes coming to us from our friend Ace Schultz on YouTube, Bracana Tier for those of you that are watching on Facebook. So he's going to be sending us some stuff, P Bandai Polypod, some BMC chisels, some other little goodies. We're going to be giving those away too. So donate. It's going to a good cause, the National Alopecia Areata Foundation. Great little charity. And just do something good. It's open to everybody around the world. Singapore, if you're watching, there are some hurdles to jump, but they are definitely you can overcome them. Just reach out to one of us on Gunpla Talk, me, or any one of the guys, or just reach out to the Facebook page, and one of us will be happy to help you get donated and get entered into the contest. So do something good, guys. It's fun. It makes you feel good too, right? So, all right. Everything that I'm going to be showing you today, all the tools and stuff, you can find that on the Amazon link down below and on the Facebook description over here. There are a ton of tools on there. There's a ton of books that I've already sourced for you guys to show you, get inspiration for your next projects, and some streaming gear that we use to make this stream and Gunpla Talk possible. In fact, I just ordered a new webcam today. I'm excited. Getting rid of this little fucker right here, right? So I'm excited. It's an upgrade. So the Amazon had a nice sale on the 922X today, and it was like $50, and I could not pass that up. It's the lowest price I've ever seen that webcam before. It's usually like $80, easy, right? So yeah, pick that up. That's coming tomorrow. It was a one day shipping, man. It was awesome. Yeah, C922X. Yeah, it was the upgraded 922. So I don't know. It might still be on sale. I don't know right now. Go check it out on Amazon. I know I have it in the links and down there. For another 5 hours, it's on sale. So you guys, hit up the link right now. I don't care if you have to come back to the stream or what. If you're looking for a really cool webcam, that 922X is $50 right now. It was a no-brainer for me because, like I said, it's usually like $80 all day, right? Sometimes even more than that. My head's getting chopped off. Let's get that fixed here real quick. Better. Okay, cool. So let's see who's on the chat. Who's on the chat? Let's start with Facebook. Bracano's over there on Facebook, but I know he's also over here on YouTube. And Mr. Tim Nelson says, "What up? What up, Tim?" Awesome to have you. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for watching. Really cool stuff. Let's see. It looks like all the usual suspects are with us here, and looks like Gamer Bud. He was watching Aliens, the second one, the best one. I mean, really. Let's put it this way: the only one. Yeah, the only one. It's all you need. If you want to watch alien movies, Aliens. It's the only one you really need. Come on, right? Hicks and Hudson, Vasquez, and all of those guys. Such a great ensemble movie, you guys. I loved that. I could watch that movie. I've seen that movie probably easily a couple hundred times at this point, and I could easily watch it all the way through again, right? That end line, "Get away from her, you bitch." Oh, it was so awesome. So awesome. So, yeah, fun movie. But Gamerbud's here with us, man. That's cool. He gave up an awesome movie to be with us. Awesome. William Wilms. Game over, man. Game over. Yes. Thank you. Oh, that's so great. Hudson with that line. That's classic line. I love that. So man, that's super funny. Thank you for that. Let's see. Bailey's with us. He's modding it up on the YouTube, holding it down for us as always. Thank you, Bailey. Appreciate your help, brother. Let's see. Runnus J22 says, "Hey Tim, what's going on? Looks like you just finished the main body of the new Verka. Funnels next. Good luck. Funnels are a pain in the butt. They're just repetitive as hell. Anyway, but that's cool. So let's see what else we got. Gamer Bud's up there. He's was building a real grade unicorn, and then was watching Aliens. Wanted to build a kit while I was waiting for my Grimoire beret to dry. Cool. Forgot about painting the backpack, so I got to paint that before I top coat. That would help. Very cool. Awesome. All right, guys. So we got a cool book here tonight. This one, again, unfortunately, is not available on Amazon as far as I know. But it is still a really interesting book. One that some people have been asking to see, right? So let's get the chair turned around. Let's get this neatly framed here for you guys, and then boom. What the hell happened there? To camera. There we go. So this is the Frame Arms Modeling Guide. This is an interesting book, right? Frame Arms are interesting kits to begin with because they're pretty much completely modular. Meaning that all of the joints and all of the pegs and holes are 100% universal for the most part. They're usually 3mm pegs, likewise 3mm holes, right? So you can do a ton of customizing with frame arms, and there are, massive shows in Japan with, basically dedicated to frame arms style of customization and everything. And these guys get just crazy with it, right? I've seen like Deep Striker-esque frame arms kits, and man, just some really good stuff. If you guys don't know Jonathan Kaminsky on Facebook, he goes by Cam, and he just finished up a frame arms kit that he called the Vindicator, and man, just super top notch, right? Had a nice kind of sand and black and white kind of color scheme, and he did a ton of customizing of that. Really good stuff, and the weapons that he customized and made and everything for that were just really out of this world. So I highly recommend, if you guys aren't familiar with Cam, go follow his Facebook page, take a look at his work. Very talented modeler. I believe he's from the UK, if I'm not mistaken. And man, just really good dude, good work, the whole 9 yards. So you'll find it posted somewhere, on one of the big Facebook groups, Gundam Network. It's a Gundam. I build dumb robots, and I'm proud. I don't know, that it's a silly name anyways, but hey, you can definitely see that on there. He posted a bunch, to a bunch of groups and everything like that, so go check him out. He's definitely worth it, and it's a good kind of example of what you can do with a frame arms kit too, which is really cool. So let's go through this here real quick, and let's see what this is all about, right? Now, again, this is all in Japanese, so obviously, we're just going to be looking at pictures and stuff. But, some cool little artwork here in the beginning, just some line art, and that's kind of basically starts off with a kind of catalog that was available at the time. This book is probably a couple years old, so there's been many additions to the frame arms line than just what you see here, right? So there's going to be a ton more kits and armors and add-ons and stuff. And then it just kind of goes through, an example of each one. This little guy right here, the Gustav, that's my personal favorite, to be honest with you. I mean, it just looks so different than any other mech that's out there, right? Very, very cool stuff. And, some of these other guys over here. This is the Werewolf Avenger. You got the Werewolf Blooper. Guess he made a mistake or something. I don't know. And you got the Werewolf Avenger up here. So very cool, different styles of kits. You kind of got a girly style looking kit called the Rapier. Here's another one down here, the Rapier Zephyr. Some really cool, different designs. Much different from your normal, Gundam style design, right? I really dig this guy here, the Wilbur 9, I guess is the name. Basically, it's kind of like a transform. He transforms into this kind of like motorcycle thing, and then here's this form with got a ton of like Wolverine claw type of things on his hands, the whole nine. And what's really interesting is they're not afraid to put rollerblades on their gigantic mechanized robots of war, which is, indicative of this one here called the Revenant Eye. So this one has rollerblades. Fun. Let's see what else we got here. Then you kind of get into the ones that you see a lot, especially this guy right here, the Baselard. This one is probably, in my estimation, the most popular. And then the different styles of the Baselard. You've got, this is the Zelfiker, and this is the Zelfiker NE down here. And then they're all just basic variations on the Baselard from what it looks like. I mean, I could be totally wrong. I don't know my frame arms very well, but that's what it looks like anyways, right? Then you got different other things here. You've got these kind of samurai-looking style mechs, which I think are really, really cool, by the way. And then you've got, this really interesting one here with this giant laser scythe. Really, really cool. And all these guys down here, just customizations and all that abound. And like I said, it just goes through each one here initially, just to kind of show you what's what, and then it gets into the construction of the inner frame and then the construction of the outer armor on top of each one. And basically that's a snap together Baselard right there. Very simple stuff. And then takes you through some different modeling techniques, simple beginner style stuff, sanding down the nubs, simple panel lining with, little markers there and things like that. It does gradually get into more advanced modeling techniques. And obviously, you're going to need to look at the pictures on these things because you're not going to be able to read it if you don't understand kanji or whatever, Japanese, text and everything. So let's see, let's get into some real kind of customization here. Okay, so right here is a good, kind of a good indication of custom work. You're getting into some plastic sheet, you're getting into custom joints and things like that, extending the inner frame with some of these pieces and all that is here too. So really interesting work all the way around. You've got your customizations here on the rifles. That's actually a rifle that you can get through the modeling support goods, the MSG line from Kotobukiya. It also obviously comes with some of the base or some of the frame arms models as well. But you can kind of just mix and match all this stuff, which is really, really good. And that's another thing. The MSG line, the Modeling Supports Goods line, all of those weapon sets and things, you can use and interchange with the frame arms kits. That's basically what they're made for. All of the hands and weapon sets and all that good stuff can be used with these. So they're really pretty cool. I actually have one of these guys, and it's probably about the size of a large 1/44 scale model, right? Or a small master grade. Similar to probably, like an F91, maybe a wing series mech in terms of 1/100 scale. Yeah, that's kind of what you can expect out of all of these models in terms of size. They're not small, but they're not large either. But you can do a ton with them because there's a ton of parts that you can just mix and match. And then obviously there's the option of making your own and customizing it to suit your own needs, right? So sky's the limit with these things. Kotobukiya really did a great thing when they came out with this line. And it was smart of them to incorporate a standard-sized platform for their modeling support goods, their weapon sets, all that stuff. I mean, it was just a genius tactic. So, yeah, this is, that's just kick-ass. I mean, look at this thing. That's awesome, right? These crazy arm rocket thingies. I don't even know what to call them, right? Just really cool customization. And there's a better kind of glamour shot of that particular model. Really cool stuff. And, it gets into a little bit of, high customization, scratch building, things like that. Like down here, they scratch built this weapon, this rifle. And I know it's a little hard to see. These pictures here are a little smaller in scale to the rest of them. And then, it kind of shows you over here how to extend this piece of armor here, some inner details and things, just some really cool kind of added, detail for your project and stuff on this. And some more really cool shots of this particular project. I really dig it. Alternate color schemes as well. Super cool stuff. Super cool stuff. Let's go back one page. Yeah, so a lot of these, I know both of these weapons right here, both of these guns are available through the MSG line, the weapon sets and things like that. And I think the sword, I want to say it is too. I recognize the shape of it. Mind you, I could have just seen it included in one of these kits, but I think that might be available too. I'm not 100% sure. But, yeah, just, really, really interesting all the way around, types of stuff. And then you kind of, gets into scratch building for this little werewolf here. And looks like a mobile missile platform or something. Kind of an interesting, yeah, look at this thing. It's like he's carrying 4 nukes on his back. It's nuts. So, very cool. And then you can obviously take the inner frame and remix it and make something kind of brand new. I mean, look at this little guy. Bipedal little mech, just made out of the inner frames and just kind of remixing the legs and the feet and, little customization here and there. And you have basically a brand new mech that doesn't exist anyplace else. And then, you got kind of high customization with these pieces here. Really, really kind of nicely top-notch stuff. And then it just has line art. So if you wanted to come up with, say, custom paint schemes or something like that, scan this into the computer. Bada boom, bada bang, you got an easy way to get custom line art. And in the back here, it just kind of has some of the things that, are available for the Frame Arms line, like you know, all these weapon sets. There's that sword that I saw before. You know, some shield sets, sniper rifle, and then you got your hand units and stuff like that. So super, super customizable stuff from the Frame Arms line. So yeah, so that right there. Frame Arms Modeling Guide. Straight off the boat. I think I got this from Hobby Search. So if you're a fan of Hobby Search, they might still have this in stock. I'm not 100% sure. But it's a pretty good book. Why don't you go check it out? So what's the retail on this guy? 3,200 yen at publish time. So if they still have it in stock, places are probably going to charge maybe a few dollars less than that. Especially if you can get it on a bigger website like Hobby Search, Hobby Link Japan's, places like that. If it's not, then it might be more expensive than that, depending on where you can find it. eBay, Mandarake, places like that, right? So, fun book. So go check it out. All right, so let's get caught up in the chat real quick. Let's see. Let's get caught up with this over here. Let's see. All right. So Dean is with us. He says, hi, Tim. I am new. Welcome, Dean. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Let's see. What's the difference between Frame Arms and Frame Arms Girls? The Frame Arms are just that, just mech-based. The Frame Arms Girls are obviously, you know, your girly interpretations of those Frame Arm kits. And let's go back to one camera so I can talk to you guys. So, you know, there's artwork. There's actually a lot of artwork out there where they mix kind of anime girls with mechs, and they put that armor on, you know, the kind of girly bodies and stuff like that, and they come up with those designs. So that's basically what the Frame Arms Girls are. That book came out, well before the Frame Arms Girls line came out, so it's a little dated in that respect. But in terms of the techniques and everything, I think it's still a really, really good book. So, Terry T is with us. How are the Frame Arms prices compared to Bandai High Grade Kit? Dean says it's like $50, the Frame Arms on Amazon. It depends on the kit, really, but yeah, that's pretty much a generality of it. You do get quite a good amount of plastic for what you're investing in. And Kotobukiya, their molding and everything is just super, super sharp. So the fidelity of the kits and the parts and the fitting and everything like that is probably going to be a little bit better even than Bandai. Bandai's pretty good, but man, the Kotobukiya molds are just amazing. Super sharp corners, you know, crisp, tight-fitting joints, just really, really good stuff. Really great technology coming from Kotobukiya. So you get a ton of that for that particular price. It may seem like a lot, but when you break it down, it's actually reasonable. So let's see. Bailey says, to my understanding, Frame Arms was the original series, then Kotobukiya adapted girl figures into the same designs. There's a show for them, too. I didn't know that. That's kind of disturbing, right? Weird. Dean says, Kotobukiya now also developed the Frame Arms series. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's see. Bailey says, so the Frame Arms all have generally the same inner frame and then added armor pieces, whereas the girls have a base girl figure that are slightly different, and then armor can be attached or replaced. Yeah, pretty much. Jay Lynch is with us. What's up, Jay? F and Tiger is with us as well. He says, howdy. Let's see. Very cool stuff. Everybody getting to know each other. That's awesome. Bailey says, subsequently, the MSG weapon sets and parts are roughly between 144 and 100 if you want to use them for Gunpla modding. Absolutely, dude. I use those all the time. The hands especially, they actually have 1/100 scale hands, and I really love those static hands. I've used those on the Hummingbird, the Aussie, the Blue Destiny, just to name a few. They're amazing, and they're right in line with the level of detail for a Bandai model. The Gundam Builders parts hands are really, really good, but the one thing that you have to keep in mind is that they're ultra detailed. I mean, super, super detailed. And in my opinion, when you pop those onto a kit that may not have equal amount of detail, it just, I don't know, it looks kind of odd, right? Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Yeah, the hands from Kotobukiya are really, really good. If they're not scaled, they're usually scaled at 144, or the frame arms kind of scale, right? Some of them have scales on them, some of them don't. The ones that don't, as a general rule, think about 144 scale. But the 1/100 scale hands absolutely have the 1/100 marking on the packaging and everything. So those are good hands. Weapon sets are great too, by the way. I really, really like the weapon sets. And you can kind of get away with using kind of those smaller scale weapons most of the time with, even bigger 1/100 scale models too. So you just kind of got to get creative with it. Let's see. Billy says, at some point, I'll pick up a Cutlass or Gurai. Those are the only ones that have interested me from frame arms so far. Yeah, I picked up, I think I picked up a Gurai. I think it's over there somewhere in the backlog. I bought it, honestly, just on a whim. I had a kind of a gift certificate to the Gundam Kitchen after we did a class up there one time, and I kind of had everything else and really wasn't really interested in anything else. So I saw it there on the shelf and I was just like, oh, cool, frame arms, I've got this. And brought it home, and probably I'll just end up kit bashing it or using parts from it on a future project or something like that. I probably won't even ever build the thing straight, right? They're interesting designs. Let's see. Hellsting Oz unit is with us. Bandai could take some notes from frame arms on letting you mix weapons and shields and other parts. Yeah, I agree. There is a certain level of standardization that could be achieved that would make the kind of entry level to kit bashing maybe a little bit lower. And then if that happens, then those people that kind of get their feet wet into that could, progress into bigger and better levels of modeling, right? So I agree with that. I think Bandai could take a note or two from Kotobukiya, especially on the molding. The Kotobukiya's molding is magical. But that's a great thought. I agree. Let's see. Bailey says they are taking notes already. That's why we have builder's parts and build fighter option sets. Very good point. Yeah, very good point. Jay Lynch also says, yeah, that's correct. I'm waiting for MSG Modeling Support Goods ABS Unit 02 that I ordered 2 weeks ago. So the ABS unit, those are like the joints and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken. I think I have some lying around here somewhere. I know I've got just a ton of Kotobukiya crap on the pegboard back here. I love Kotobukiya parts. I mean, they just come in handy so much, right? Let's see. Andrew Young is with us. Very good. He says, hi all. What did I miss? Had a long day of terrible. It's sad to hear, Andrew. Did you fail your test? I hope not. Hope you got your studying in. Jay Lynch, I would like to get a Hexagear Ray Blade Impulse model kit. That the Hexagear kits are really shockingly good looking, right? For those of you that don't know, this is the Hexagear is a new line from Kotobukiya, and where kind of your frame arms has standard round peg, round holes, like the name would imply, the Hexagear has hexagonal kind of connections. So it's a really interesting take on on sci-fi kind of kits, right? They've kind of got just some weird stuff, and they've got like little action figures that come with some of the kits that will basically are pilots and things. Those are articulated and all that. It's roughly 1/30th, 1/35th scale for those of you playing at home. So it's really a cool looking line. A little expensive for my taste, but again, not ever seeing one, I don't know how to gauge the amount of plastic that you get, the amount of engineering that's thrown into the kit. So that could be very reasonable for all I know, right? Let's see. Andrew says, oof, I own the Frame Arms Girl Mook, which is a book, right? Let's see. I love that book to death. It's so inspirational. It would be to you, wouldn't it, Andrew? Perv. Bailey says, not to mention the Fumina kits, though they are still playing catch up in figure model quality, that's for sure. The latest Sarah doll case is case in point that they are paying attention. Yeah, true. I'm not really into the figures, the figure kits, the Fumina, the whatever. Just give me robots. Just give me more robots, right? So that's just me. Let's see. Andrew Young, Tim, you're not mad at me for my sudden blunt question the other day, are you? Oh, no. No, man, not at all. Not a bit, dude. I thought it was funny, actually. So, inside thing between me and Andrew, you guys. Sorry for the off-topic conversation. Jay Lynch, I agree with Bailey. The Sarah model is pointing in a good direction. They're still doing baby steps. True. Dean says, what do you think of Gundam build divers? It's not my thing. None of the build diver shows have ever really been my thing, right? I'm not a big anime fan to begin with, and if I am, it's got to be kind of on the more mature side, your Gundam, your Gundam Thunderbolt. IBO was good because it was good and gritty. 8MS Team, things like that. I like those. That's that style of kind of mech shows. But even beyond that, I'm just not a huge anime fan. So with that, the kits just never really fit my styling to begin with. And also, I build in 1/100 scale. I should say most of the build series has been in 144. There are a couple master grades here and there. Not to say anything that, not to say, you can't like Gundam build divers. Anybody can like it. I don't care. It's just not my thing. That's just me. So Bailey says hard pass. I love that. Let's see. Andrew Young, felt out of line to ask, but I couldn't stop myself to ask. Dude, don't even worry about it. So I think it's funny, actually. So Andrew Young, build divers is poo. Jesus. Jay Lynch on Twitter, check out Scarface0601. He has an amazing build with Kotobukiya Hexagear and frame arms. Ooh, nice. I want to see that. Dean says, it's too childish even though I'm in middle school. Oh, nice. Let's see. Andrew Young says, nah, it's meant for kids, like really young kids. Yeah, my daughter is 10. She's seen an episode or two. She's not really into that style of anime. She loves her girly anime, your cutesy kind of kawaii type, anime. She's into Pokemon and some of the stuff that's on like Netflix, right? Some of the cutesy, kids style anime. And I showed her a couple episodes of Gundam Build Divers, and she was just like, eh. So I don't know. Let's see. 01 Shield. I got a Sarah Ninja AOI and Rapid Rider on order. Azra Ninja. Sorry, misread that. Very cool. And thanks for watching, 01 Shield. Welcome back. Let's see. Let's keep going. Let's keep going here. Effin' Tiger, is there one kind of painted detail you always go back to? I love painting the trigger fingers and the pommel of the melee weapons. Interesting. That's an interesting question. For me, are there any painted details that I always go back to? Man, I've never really thought of that, to be quite honest with you. You know, for me, you know, like the little teeny tiny latches that I kind of put on, like I know it's going to be hard to see on this camera, but these little teeny tiny, just little specks, I do love to paint those a different color just to kind of highlight that they're there, right? Sometimes I'll leave them the same color and, you know, put some wash around them. That'll make them pop, make them look nice. But like on the Blue Destiny, I painted those gray instead of blue for the base kit, and I just think it just makes it pop. I really like those details. So that's probably the one thing that I would come back to, right? So interesting question. I like that. Thank you, Effin' Tiger. That was kind of made me think there for a second. That was good. Yours with us. It was the best episode so far, but still, like, what the fuck, right? I think you guys are talking about Gun and Build Divers. Yeah, I haven't watched any of it. Just not for me. Not for me. Andrew Young, when Maggie and the other dude was implied with staying over. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Andrew Young, Bazelard for life. Sure. Bailey says, for the same design, I like the asymmetry of the cutlass instead. I think that's one of those samurai-looking ones. Could be mistaken. Could be way off. But if that's the one, then yeah, totally agree. Jay Lynch, oof, Divers was so meh, you can handpick like 3 fights that were good. Other than the story was close to nothing, mobile suits were okay at least. Fair. That's fair. Andrew Young says, well, I think the high-grade build fighters line is making it kit bashing. Alrighty. Like they do have the bashed backpacks that are universal. Yeah, good point. Sorvan Zero's over there on Twitch holding it down for us. Thank you as always, Sorvan. Really love that you're helping out. He says, standardization is very good at 144. It's 100 that really suffers when it comes to easy customization. Yeah, you got to work for it. You really got to work for it. But, you know, I think there's something to be said where you do have to work for it. You know, because say you want a GM Spartan, but all you have, you know, one of these guys. Say you want one of these, right? But all you have is GM Sniper 2. Well, you bust your ass and you start customizing, right? So I think there's something to be said about that. It does kind of promote the necessity of exploration into higher levels of modeling. But at the same time, I do agree that, you know, with better standardization of parts, I think the entry level for beginner modelers would be set much lower and thus translate into more modelers that want to kind of take that next step, you know. So it is somewhat double-edged. So good point, Sorvan. And thank you again, buddy, for holding it down over there. Appreciate you. Dean, like Riku almost always got super lucky. He should have been shot down by the champ. Okay. I don't know what you guys are talking about at all. I don't watch the show. Yor says, how about that high-grade Moon Gundam, though? That kit looks great for future advancement of Bandai design. You know, it's an interesting-looking kit. I like it. I like it for some parts, and then I'm like, for other parts, I'm like, I don't know about that. The head, in particular, it is an interesting design. I'm not quite feeling the green, neon green stripes going down the side, and I'm not feeling that kind of V-fin back on the back side of the Mohawk, right? Because it has one up front, and then it's got one that's like a U-shape back in the back, right? And that just seems weird to me. So everything else, I really kind of like the look of it. I like how they kind of brought in some of the design cues from the Sazabi and some of the other models that we've seen in the past before. I really kind of like that look. So yeah, I hope they kind of continue with that style, because it is really, really interesting, right? So good point. Good point. Let's see. Jay Lynch, yes, those are H joints. So the ones that he was talking about before, the ABS joints. Yeah, I think I have. Now I'm curious, right? Let's see. No, that's not it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I know I have some of it. Hands. No, that's not it. That's not it. No, that's not it either. Ah! Haha! Yeah, so these are the ABS, and I think this is what you're talking about, Jay. I like these. These will come in super handy when getting into, you know, kind of high level scratch building and stuff like that. Just because Kotobukiya's molding on these is going to be just super, super tight, so you don't have to worry about fitting those appropriately and everything. So, yeah, I dig those things. I dig them a lot. Let's see. Andrew Young says, I have an exam every week until finals. Well, that sucks for you, Andrew. And so many group projects to do. You're the one in college, buddy. You could always drop out. Go work at McDonald's. Anyway, Jundus J22 says, Andrew Young, I have 4 midterms in 2 days in my 3rd year of university. Damn, dude. 4 midterms in 2 days. Whew. Ouch. And Andrew Young, I failed Tuesday's exams. Well, you should have fucking studied. You shouldn't have been on here with us. You should have gotten your nose buried in your books, which is what you get. Feel sorry for your parents. Let's see. We do 3 exams each class and then finals. Man. 01 Shield, I have the Hexagear Parapon Ignite, and they are 1/24th scale. Okay, so that I was guessing, obviously. So 1/24th, 1/30th, 1/35th, they're all kind of, you know, the figures are like 3 inches tall, right? So, yeah, that's good to know. Very cool. Very cool. I dig those Hexagear designs, man. I do. Andrew Young, in each class has 3 exams, and I started exams like 3 weeks ago. I've been dying. Why are you on here, and why are you not studying? I don't know. Anyway, Soravon0 over on Twitch says they started standardizing with the All Gundam project a few years back. Everything since has been highly compatible with each other. Absolutely. They just need to do it in the master grade line now, right? So, is what it is. Let's see. Run as J22. Even though you don't like the build series, would you play Gundam Gunpla Battle with the rest of the Gunpla Talk cast? If I knew what it was, maybe. I really don't want. Is that like I don't even know what that is. Is it a video game or something, or is it from like the show or whatever? I don't know. I really don't know. If it's from the show, the build series, like I said, I don't know. Sorry. I would say yeah. If they were all doing it, I'd give it a try at very least, right? I mean, you don't want to wait until you're 80 to find out you like something. Come on. Oh man. Gamer Bud, 8th MS Team was a great show. Yes, it was one of the best. Bailey says best UC series. So I'm pretty far behind on the chat, you guys. If we're just talking about what I said like 10 minutes ago. Whew, you guys are going crazy. Yeah, these comments are 10 minutes old. Holy shit. You guys are going nuts in the chat tonight, right? All right, cool. Andrew Young, Thunderbolt, best series. Thunderbolt was really, really good. I loved Thunderbolt, especially Io. He was a badass, right? Andrew Young, if Josh wanted to, I couldn't say no. Oh, to the game. Okay. Bailey says, if you don't count Turn A as a UC show, that is. Best. He was saying best UC series. You know what? That's one I have not seen. I haven't seen Turn A. I haven't seen Double Zeta either. I think those are the only 2 UC timeline shows that I have not seen, mainly because they're not dubbed, and I'm not going to sit here and read. It's just a waste of my time, right? I'll wait for the dub, and I can do other things and multitask and work on models and build cool shit, right? So that's just me. Andrew Young says, you should let your daughter build yokai kits. I'm sure there's a joke in there. I'm sure they're probably not appropriate. But whatever. Anyway, Bailey says, nope, Thunderbolt is a great second best. It is. It's a good one. Get her into the addiction, I mean, plastic hobby. You know, she has built a bear guy, like a normal bear guy, not even the mini one, and she entered that into SCGMC, Southern California Gundam modeling competition back 2-3 years ago, and she won first place in the junior category. And she was super happy with it, right? And we got video of her accepting the award and everything. And, you know, she was just super cute running up, and she got like a little medal and everything. She was all happy, and she was just smiling ear to ear. So she has built models before. She's just not into it. She's just not her thing, right? So I'm not going to pressure the kid to do it. That's just not me, right? It's like your sports parents, you know, just drive it in your head. I'm not that guy. Let's see. 01 Shield. Divers is not good. Turkey Neck love Phantom. Okay. I don't know what that means. It just sounds funny. I'll be honest. It just sounds funny. Let's see. Andrew Young. Yo, that Maggie kit is a Prime 92 bash. I don't know. You lost me. Jay Lynch. Oh, the 8th MS team. Such a good story. I would love to see an Opsilus. Yeah. They've made garage kits of the Opsilus 1 and 2. And I think they've made SD kits, and I think they might even have a Converge little figure of it. Could be wrong, though. But yeah, the Opsilus is a really cool kind of design. I really dig it. Bailey says, you can get a tiny one. Yeah, the old high grade. With the old high-grade GM sniper kit. Oh, I didn't even know that had that. That's a good call. Williams, my favorite Gundam series is 00. I enjoyed that storyline so much. It is good. It is good. I enjoyed 00. Let's see. M. Somoza finally made it. Senpai noticed me. Wow, Mikkel. Is what it is. Right. Bailey, 00 was pretty good. Yeah, a better version of Wing, perhaps. I will rewatch 00 again at some point. Yeah, I've watched it, I think, 2 or 3 times all the way through, and it is really cool, especially like that first encounter with the Exia where he just comes and just beats the shit out of that one mech on the field. That was funny as hell, I thought. Because he was just like, yeah, no, whatever. Just beat down. Runnus J22, has Tim built any 00 stuff? No, I have not. Well, I take that back. Instead of no, I should say sort of, right? Because those right back here, the what is it? What are those called? Those are the GN arms, right? I used parts of those for the Ozymandias. So you can kind of say I sort of did, but, you know, in terms of, you know, full-on kits, no, I've not. It's, you know, the designs are cool, but they're not my style. You know, I'm more, I think you guys know this, more of a UC kind of grunt, you know, or heavy custom style builder. The 00 stuff, I really liked the show and everything, but the designs of the mechs themselves, especially like Exia and the 00, it's just like, eh. Now, mind you, that doesn't mean that I would never do a 00 kit. If they came out with like a master grade of the Dynamis or one of its kind of evolutions, I'd probably build that, because I think that particular you know, mobile suit was really, really cool. But I don't see that happening anytime. Maybe on an anniversary, big anniversary or something, you know, 10, 15, 20 years or something like that. So Let's see. Jay Lynch. Yeah, those are the ones I purchased. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yours says, I have seen 00 about 15 times, but I think it's my favorite series. IBO and Origin are not far behind. Yeah. You know what? Origin was really good, too. It's definitely a different take on how your Gundam, your normal Gundam series is kind of told, right? So I kind of dug it. I dug it. Andrew Dung, low key, drop out, save the money, open up a hobby shop. Oh, God, don't do that. Jesus. Terry T, so is wave option parts a different thing than Kotobukiya option parts? Yes, good question. Yes, they are. Let's see, and I actually have, where is it? Oh, okay. So these are the 1/100 scale hands that I was talking about a little bit earlier, and you guys are never going to be able to see this, but right here is the 1/100 scale, little indicator, right? So these are Kotobukiya, these are the H joints that Jay Lynch was talking about a little bit earlier. And then you do have Wave. So obviously much different packaging. These are Wave verniers, basically like, thrusters or vents or whatever you really want to use them for. So yes, Wave is a completely different company. They make their own line of detail parts and stuff like that. But you're going to find a much bigger and better selection out of Kotobukiya. Now, there are some things that Wave makes that you will not find in the Kotobukiya line. The fuel tanks, come to mind right away. Some of the bigger thruster bells and things like that. You can get some pretty sizable thruster bells from the Wave line that you cannot find through Kotobukiya. So there are pros and cons on both. But in general, I tend to gravitate toward Kotobukiya option parts, but I'm not opposed, obviously, to purchasing stuff from Wave. So, good question, Terry. Good question, absolutely. Let's see. Gamerbuds, Senpai noticed you and scolded you. All right. Let's see. Oh, he's talking about Mikkel. He didn't notice him. Oh, well. Poor you, right? F and Tiger, the Build Fight System subreddit, it's kind of an online strategy game using your Gunpla as a base. The Discord is pretty great too. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm not big into Discord. If I used it more, I'd probably get it, but I just don't, and so it's kind of a weird platform to me. So yeah, I'm not really into Discord too much. So, just being honest. Anyway, yours says, that's cool. I will have to check that out. I was thinking of designing a tabletop game system based on Gunpla customization and battling. I've seen posts on, with those ideas and stuff before, but I've never seen anything, to fruition. So, man, get on it, man. It's yours to take, right? Let's see, bro. Yukai Watch is a kids show. I don't know. Whatever. Let's see. Mikkel says, Andrew, go study. Thank you, Mikkel. At least someone has some sense in here to for that. Helsting Oz unit, maybe he means if we had something like what they have in Build Divers or Try. Sucks that the main guy who was writing 8th MS died, so they ended it. Yeah. Space Rat 53, do you paint the pilot figures? If so, how do you go about painting them? I'm interested in eventually painting the pilot and flight crew figures that came with 100 overflag I'm working on. Okay, so here's a little admission. I throw the pilots away. I don't even cut them off the runners, honestly. Most of the times I don't even put the cockpit, the chair and everything in. I just don't care about it, to be honest with you. Now, if you're talking about the little itty bitty ones that, like will stand and everything like that, your best bet would probably be to hand paint them and use a very, very small brush and probably use a pair of these to get that detail and everything. So that's the best thing I can say. I don't I don't paint them, so I am probably not a great source of information about painting them. So, sorry, Space Rat. Hellsting Oz unit. The only thing I don't like about Thunderbolt was the jazz music. Oh man, come on. That was kind of like one of those signature things about the show, right? So I'll cut it a pass. You know, for the jazz music, simply because it was just super funny. Let's see. Dean is back from dinner. Welcome back, Dean. Space Rat, my favorite UC series is Zeta Gundam. Alternate Universe series is After War Gundam X for OVAs. I'm tied with Thunderbolt and 8th MS Team. Very cool. Mikkel is back on his Maverick login. Tim, have you made up your mind to come over to Anime NYC? Yeah, it's not happening. Sorry, not happening. It's just... We have family plans down in VA that weekend, so it's not gonna work out, unfortunately. Sorry. And then the week before that, I am trying my damnedest to get out to SCGMC this year because I really want to. Haven't been for a few years, and I need to get back out there, have fun with with everybody and see everybody and all that good stuff. So no, Anime NYC is out of the question this year, mainly because number one, I really don't like anime conventions. New York Comic Con was great because it was kind of a general, all-encompassing kind of geek fest, but Anime NYC is just anime, so it's just going to be anime shit and anime geeks, and I got my fill of those going to Otakon back in the early 2000s, and holy shit, you guys, if you've not smelled an anime geek in the middle of a Baltimore summer, you have no idea what stench is. Ugh, God. So, funny story about this. Let me anecdote here just for a second, because this is funny. So, one of my friends back in the day, Giles, big dude, right? He's everybody's friend. He can get along with everybody, right? So he comes to Otakon with us, and we had, God, I think 20, maybe 30 people, in Chata Mecha t-shirts. I had a booth in the vendors section and everything. One of my friends was putting on a class in one of the auditoriums and everything. And it was just a really, really good time to be there. It was a lot of fun, right? So my friend Giles, who's, like I said, this big dude, very friendly, he brings out just this can of Axe body spray. And it just smells horrid, right? So he's going around behind people that stink and just kind of spraying in the air. Oh my God, it was the funniest damn thing ever, because these people would look back and like, what? And by that time he had hidden the can of Axe body spray, so they didn't know what the hell was going on, right? And as soon as they turned their back again, he would be like, shh, right? Oh God, so funny. And then one of the security people there caught him doing it, and the little black lady, all older and stuff, and she was just the best, man. She was so cool. She's just like, what the hell are you doing? And my friend Giles was like, man, they stink. And she's like, yeah, you're right. She's like, continue with what you're doing. These swamp monkeys stink. Oh my God, you guys. We were on the floor laughing for at least 10 minutes. Holy shit, it was great. So, yeah. Sidebar story. So, that's why I'm not a big fan of anime conventions in particular. It's just because, like, people just don't know how to take care of themselves, man. Just a little wash, little brush your teeth. Man, come on. Anyway. William Wilms, Zaccharilli says a video about painting the pilot figures. Good call. After watching that, you should also watch videos of people that paint minifigures, like for Warhammer. Good call, William. That is a good call. Let's see. Let's get through this, shall we? Because we need to get some work done. We're already an hour in, and we're just talking and all that. Now, mind you, I love talking to you guys. This is fun for me, but still, I think you guys want to see a little bit of work, because I want to show you this shield, because we got some cool shit done to it. Let's see. Turn 8 is a fun AU. Fudu Baoi is with us. Welcome, Fudu. Futuba AOE. I think that's because it's separate on Instagram. Futaba AOE. I don't know. I just like saying Futu AOE. Futu AOE. It's so fun to say. Anyway, let's see. This guy ain't gonna finish that shield today or work on it. Shut up, Andrew. Go fail your exams. Billy says, yeah, this is now a Q&A stream, right? Jesus. Let's see. YouTube has taken over. Quick, let's take over his house now. Man, shut up. It's like when students don't want to do the day's lessons, so they just keep asking the teacher some off-topic questions, right? We'll get through this. I promise you guys. I promise. I'm only 6 minutes behind on the comments. So yeah. Let's see. Tim's not into girls. You're right. I'm into women. Get your shit straight. Let's see. Dean, characters in Gundam Build Fighters get Gumbos for free, it seems. Oh, okay, yeah. Fudabeoi, so you're going to SCGMC. I am trying. I want to very badly this year. I think I can make it. I think I can cover the flight on points. I asked if they had a special rate, since they held the convention or whatever they want to call it there at the hotel. And they do, and they gave it to everybody now. So special rates until October 12th on your stay there for the weekend. So I can definitely take advantage of that. Transportation is the big question mark at this point. Angel said, he could drive me around, but man, I kind of feel bad, having to be chauffeured and around and everything like that. It's just, I don't know. I'd probably get a rental car or Uber or something like that. But it's a bit of a jaunt from the John Wayne Airport over there in Orange County to Fullerton. So I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But I'm definitely trying to get out there this year. That is an absolute want. But it's still going to be closer to a game time decision. So Mikkel says, Maverick 176, that's a good trip to Cali. I will see you there next year with Chris and maybe Ray. Dude, you guys got to come out. Seriously. It would be awesome, all of us getting out there and hanging out with those guys because they're a ton of fun too, right? Andrew Young, so that smell of sweat and God knows what is bad in those cons. Yeah, it is. Cyril Hottie is with us. He says, Naoki Gundam Stormbringer is awesome. Dude, do you have it? I'm waiting for mine. I can't wait to get it. It looks awesome. He posted some crazy pictures of his today, and it was just like, what? That's awesome. Naoki's recent photo background was good looking. That was from Andrew. Yep, it was. Space Rat 53. I always shower before I go to a con. I always try to keep my BO bearable. Well, from all of us, thank you, Space Rat. You're one of a few. You are a gentleman and a scholar. That's awesome. Helsting Oz unit. I think it would be cool if Bandai did a show where every UC character was in it and they added all the shows into one. Never do the pilots with the kits because you never see them. Waste of time. I don't know. That trailed off there for me. I don't know. Fudabe always says, I hope you make it. Peak season says, I am watching the YouTube videos of it. Cool. Yeah, SCGMC, for you guys that don't know, is such a good time. So, if you can get out there, yeah. Bailey says, I didn't notice that post about the questions for teachers. Yeah, I have that problem, by the way. That and the hurricane, I am behind in my lessons by 2 chapters. Dean, Tim, let's start, shall we? Yeah, I agree. And I think we're caught up. So, let's start. There we go. All right, so with that being said, we got, an hour left? What a good talk. I love talking to you guys. I know. But it is what it is. It's fun. All right, so there's the shield. So far, still a lot I want to do with it, right? But ooh, look at that. Super nice. And we're going to do that across the front and across this long curve here too. They're going to have these teeth, right? So these are actually really easy to make, you guys. Andrew Young, he gets so angry with me all the time. Because you piss me off, that's why. Annoying little shit. And so we're going to put them all the way across here. We're going to put them across here. And we're going to do some other things. But let's show you real quick what I've done so far, right? So first things first, obviously this main part of the shield, we've got the teeth, and we've got the supports for the teeth already installed on the edges there. And that's just, they're just edge glued right to this thing with super glue, right? So those are really, really cool. Let's see. I have sanded down a lot of little kind of piddly details on this shield. The bottoms of these pieces here had this kind of long strip style detail down here. Just sanded that off, nice flat and smooth. We're going to add some stuff to that a little bit. And then the top of the shield here, also there was a kind of a strip detail right here. Let's get focused. And sanded that down, and then I also super glued the Fetty insignia into place, sanded that down, just made that a plug at that point. So filled that. Now this whole thing is a nice smooth canvas. You can see the frosting that the super glue does on the back. It's pretty nasty looking, right? But you're never going to see that, so what does it matter? Let's see. See, he's so mean. Just to you, man. Just to you. Just to you, Andrew. Because, so guys, for those of you that are now tuning in, just joining us, whoa, what's going on here? Weird. Just so you know, Andrew and I have a love-hate relationship. God damn. Weird. And he's just, he's super annoying. He's kind of like a little brother in that respect. I still help him out, and I still don't mind his presence, but I just like giving him a whole hell of a hard time. Just a ton of shit, right? So he's earned that. He's earned that. That's how he knows that I still like him, because I still give him shit. So there, hopefully the camera doesn't bug out on us, right? So, okay, cool. So let's start off with the teeth. Let's get that going, right? So I think this is a really, really super cool detail. You know, it's going to be awesome all the way along this curve and along right here. You know, when I looked at this shield, it is almost like a Tanto style tip to this. If you guys are familiar with knives, a Tanto blade is a very angular edge, and I just really love the look of that, and I love the look of this shield. So will you stop and just focus, you stupid fucking camera? Sorry guys. And so we're gonna wrap teeth all the way around here and just basically make this shield into a weapon, right? So this should be fun. All right, so we've got 2 millimeter by 1 millimeter thick strip wrapped around this curve, and then I basically cut, this is a 4 millimeter strip that I had tapered down to about 2.5 millimeters at the back end here. And so we're going to add teeth to all this stuff. But before we can do that, we obviously have to clean up that little tip and make these things look like one solid piece. So to do that, we're going to clip off the ends of this with the nippers first, and then we'll go back with our file and really start to kind of clean this up, right? All right, so there's that. Now we need to get the angle. So you just follow this particular plane right here, and we're just going to file that at the same angle. Make these seamless. And that looks pretty good right there. Now, obviously, since this is coming in at a different angle, this will be angled here like that. But I'm not going to worry about that too much. I think that's a small detail that I'm just not really too concerned with, because this tip will be just a weapon of its own, right? So not a huge deal. Now, one thing that we do have to do is, from gluing these pieces up, I had to put a bunch of super glue in this gap just to fill that. So we need to clean that that joint here with these two, and then we also need to clean up the levels of things, especially here on the bottom. So we're just going to scrape this edge down until everything is nice and flush. We're getting really close there. You can see the color of the plastic start to turn. The blue gets a little bit lighter, and then you'll see a perfect seam between that and the white strip. Once you see that, then you can stop. You know these two surfaces are completely aligned. Just like that. Do the fingernail test across that seam, then everything is good with the world. So this corner, inside corner here, you do want to pay a little bit of attention to, because you want to make sure that is nice and flat and also at a nice angle. Okay. And just like last stream's little tutorial about straightening out curved parts, you want to do the same thing on this inside corner. Just basically want to ride the surface with your blade and just keep going until that corner becomes nice and sharp. And this little piece will pop out once that corner is nice and even for you. Okay. Oh, Baraka Saza is with us. And Mrs. B. Welcome, you guys. My favorite Gundam couple. Okay. So the underside here is nice and straight. And that's what it's going to look like once it's actually on the inner part of the shield. So there's going to be, you know, some surface shown of the actual blue part there. So now we flip it over and we do the same thing to this side. We clean up this corner. This edge here is nice and flat. And that super glue has filled in that gap really, really nicely, so we don't have to worry about that too much. So now all we have to do is just kind of scrape this level clean. We get in there with the hobby knife, just clean out that excess of super glue off of the surface of this strip. And we'll flip this over back this way. Okay. So now this inside corner right here is nice and sharp, right? So we'll just scrape that smooth. All right. So now this curved edge right here is nice and smooth at the tip. Now we have to switch our angles and get the other side here and make sure that that is also nice and cleaned up before we move on, because that is going to be paramount to the following steps. Okay. There we go. That popped out nice. And so now let's do a little scraping here at the corner. And let's see. That looks pretty good. All right, so there's our nice clean edge now. We've got that all tidied up. Let's get a little sanding action just to make that super, super smooth. All right, so now we need some teeth. What I did was to make these teeth here 3 millimeters long. And to do that, we just used 1 by 1 millimeter styrene strip, right? Very, very simple stuff. So I still have the chopper dialed in from before, so we're just going to, actually I don't, I switched it up. So we're going to measure out 3 millimeters here on the chopper. Let's get zoomed out a little bit. There we go. And we want to dial in 3 millimeters. Stop locked into place, and here we go. We're gonna basically just cut a whole bunch of these teeth because we're gonna need them. And you don't really want to jam down on the chopper, because these little pieces will go flying and you'll lose them, and that's just a pain in the butt. So just kind of bring that arm down super gently, and then those things will stay in place, and then you can kind of move them out of the way. So we'll cut 6 or 7 of them here just to kind of show you guys. One more. Okay. So here's our little pieces, right? Just right here. These are going to become the angled teeth. Now, before we can do anything with these, we need to put the angle on those teeth. So to do that, we can't use the chopper very well. It's not going to cut very accurately, these teeny tiny pieces. So this has to be done by hand, and you have to eyeball it. With this, I eyeball cut all these pieces, all these teeth here, and you'd be hard pressed to measure and make sure that all of these are at a 45-degree angle, right? Looking away from it, you know, not zoomed in, they all look like 45 millimeter or 45-degree angle cuts on these things. So you want to eyeball it as best as you can, right? So to do that, obviously you're going to need a set of these, or some sort of magnification, or some really good eyesight, and then just kind of go to work. Now, let's see if I can get in here and see these without blocking your guys' view. Hopefully, maybe not. I'll try to keep them off here. But just take your knife and just cut appropriately. Now, we didn't cut nearly as much off of there as we needed to. We're going to go back and cut that a little bit more. And that looks good. And you want to look at the top to see if your cut was nice and square as well, right? So you want to look down on it. So you flip it around, you do the same thing to the other side. And that's not the cleanest piece, so we're going to toss that out. I'm not happy with that one. Cuts weren't square. And you're going to get those, right? So this one looks nice and square. Square can be anyway. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. All right, much better cut there. So we're just going to lightly stab that, put this over here so we don't lose it on the chopper. And we're going to do the same thing to a bunch of these other ones, and then we'll glue some up here, and I'll show you that process, because it's actually pretty easy. This is more just really tedious. And it's just really tiny work. I would highly suggest a smaller hobby knife like this little NT cutter blade. It makes the work a lot easier, and I think you can get a lot more dexterity out of this little thing than you can with a like a bigger Olfa or X-Acto or something like that. The angle of the blade, this is a 45-degree angle blade. I think that also really helps a lot when working small like this. This is pretty small work. Okay, that one looks pretty good. We're going to put that off to the side. We'll do one more here, and then we'll start gluing these in place, right? Okay, we'll save these other two here for later. I'll put those off to the back. And now let's start to glue this thing up here, shall we? All right. So with this, I'm going to start this on the top of the curved part right back here. We're going to need our good friend, super glue. And let's see what we're going to do. So we've got the teeny tiny parts right here. We're gonna put these off to the corner here in the frame so you guys can see right there, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stand these up on their edge. Be very careful because these things are super small and very temperamental when they want to be. There we go. All right, so all you got to do is just kind of stab the top of one of them, just like that, and just a little bitty drop of super glue on these things. Just kind of kiss it with the glue there. And now what I did here was I came back about 2 millimeters, so we're going to do the same thing here. Just try to align that with the piece. Pop that right into place. That super glue will start to latch on. Press it in. And now you've got a tooth on your... If the thing would focus. And... nope. There we go. So there. So now you have a tooth on the edge of the shield, and we're going to bring that all the way around. We just need to repeat this step a whole gang of times. So again, the process is super simple. it's just super annoying and tedious. But once you've got it done, then you've got an awesome look like that nobody else has, right? So the tedium, even as bad as it is worth it. There you kind of got the beginnings of that, right? Right across the edge. So let's get these 4 glued up. And that'll give you a good indication of what we're trying to accomplish with this. And then we'll check back in with you guys in the chat. We won't spend as much time as we did before, I promise you guys. I just like to stay on top of things. And as you can see, I'm just eyeballing the spacing, but it looks pretty even to me. If you're off a 1/2 mil here, a 1/2 mil there, it's not going to be a big deal because if you look at this with your naked eye, you're never going to really notice it, right? So it's one of those things that you can kind of, you can just kind of let loose with it. All right, last one here. Okay. All right, so there we go. So there is the beginnings of that serrated style edge, right? That sawtooth kind of looking mean motherfucker, right? It's just going to be badass, I think. And what I really liked is I could have kept this this strip right here straight, but I wanted to taper it more so it had a little bit more of a point to it, right? So I kind of like that look. I like the fact that it's tapered. It's not your normal look because most people would just do a straight strip of plastic down here to match everything else, but I didn't want to do that. Didn't want to do that. So there we go. I like it. I like the look of it. So let's get caught back up with you guys just real quick. We're not going to take a whole ton of time here. Let's see, but damn, you guys are talking in the chat, aren't you? Holy hell, man. Yeah. I could go back. Wow. Jesus, you guys are going nuts in the chat right now. I'm going back like almost 20 minutes at this point. Wow. Yeah, okay. So we're going to hammer through this real quick. People talking about the differences between tantos and other styles of knife and swords. You know, I just kind of called it a tanto just because that's kind of what came to mind first. It's nothing set in stone or anything like that. Not a big deal. Let's see. Billy says, the Phantom Wiki is a great start for technical info, and the story lore on the mobile weapons I also like. There is an iOS app. Yeah, true. Barack Asaza reporting for duty, sir. Thank you for watching, Barack. You and Iris, man. You guys are great, like I said before. Let's see. Nice. Yor says, I think American laziness is also due in large part to its design, much easier to make simple straight angles. True. That's a fair point, right? I just kind of like it. It's a cool piercing angle. I don't know. I just dig it. Anyway, let's see. Future best engineer right here, boys. No, Andrew, not if you don't study. Not if you don't study. Let's see. Everybody's saying hi. Everybody good? Yep. Andrew Young, this and the heat sinks are just tedious but so rewarding. Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Dean says, "Why don't Tim just have a scroll saw? A scroll saw could not replicate that, not in the least little bit. You gotta do these things by hand, dude. Got to do them by hand. Yeah, it's not. You can't. Let's put it this way: you can't get this level of angles and sharpness with a scroll saw, because you're talking about what, these are 1 millimeter wide, 3 millimeters long. So you're not going to be able to get that flat, sharp corners with a scroll saw, unfortunately. So yeah, dude, got to do it by hand. The hard way is always usually the right way, unfortunately. So let's see. Andrew Young says, we're working in millimeters so small that as long as you're not making 45-degree angles and then 120-degree angle cuts, it's okay. Yeah, yeah. Spider2K2, James is with us. Oh, nice, making a sawtooth style shield edge. Yes, sir. Julius Dimsky is also with us. Sorry, all, I have to get up early. I'm out next time. Thanks for stopping by, Julius. Appreciate that. Space Rat 53, the question is, how are you going to make them come together at that bent corner? That's a good question right there. That's a very good question, right? So basically what the idea is going to be is it's just going to wrap around, right? Let's get it in frame. So it's going to come up here. It's going to come up this edge, right? And it's just going to wrap around. There's probably going to be a space right here at the corner where that corner is just exposed, right? And that's basically how it's going to wrap around. So it's not really all that hard, right? Not really all that hard at all. In terms of spacing, yeah, same thing. Let's see, Andrew Young. Now I'm gonna look at your kit when you take it to the kitchen and bring a ruler to measure each one. You would. Yeah, Bailey says you can pre-mark the spacing in pencil to see if it would fit. That's true, absolutely. And actually, I have gone through this first part here to get the spacing correct, and this is kind of the diagram that I came up with, right? So let's see, where'd my pencil go? Shoot. Wow, screw up. All right, so basically what I did was I made, just drew some boxes and stuff like that. Those are 3 millimeter wide, and then 2 millimeter spacing is kind of what I calculated, right? So let's see, 2 and 3 is 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and then 2 on the front end spacing would leave 32 millimeters. So 2 in the front, 2 in the back, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So that's kind of what I did. And, for going down this edge, I'm not too concerned with it at this point, simply because when I do get down to this edge, if it's an odd, if there's a weird measurement or something like that, I can make a custom point to tie into this edge, right? So I can do something, like a longer one or something, kind of like this. To make that point, a little bit more, pronounced or something like that. There are options. There are many, many options to doing this. So it doesn't necessarily have to be 100% perfect, right? But these, for the most part, they're pretty much 2 millimeter spacing on these teeth. So there we go. Spider2K2, can't wait to see the kitchen's new layout out their new store. I know, right? That'll be fun. Let's see. Go. Keep going. Oh, I think I'm at the bottom, you guys. Yeah, I am. Sweet. All right, let's see. It's about 30 minutes from my place, Andrew. Yeah, James is local to the Gundam Kitchen. That's his local store, man. So it's cool for him. Let's see. GP is moving soon. Really? I didn't know that. Haven't been to GP, this Gundam Planet that the guys are talking about in almost 2 years, and I heard they were getting a new place more inland of New Jersey. I didn't know that. Huh. All right, cool. All cut up there. So let's, ooh, you know what I missed on Facebook? When I'm on says, hate to admit it, but I always use Kodo parts to cover up stuff I mess up on, like sweeping a mistake under the rug, if you will. Nice. That's our friend Win, guys. Paint pusher for those of you at home. So yeah, that's was his comment. And then Jeremy Chassange, they should remaster the original Gundam series. I agree, man. RF Aurora, he says, hi, everyone. What's up, RF? I am young. Tim, have you ever been to Gundam Planet? No, and I have no desire to either. I just, it's just, I don't know. Some of the people at Gundam Planet, I'm just not, I don't know, not really copacetic with. Let's put it that way, right? So, I can get stuff. I can get stuff pretty much wherever. So I really don't need to go to Gundam Planet. I've seen bigger stores than that in Japan. So the spectacle of it all, it's not really going to be a big deal to me. And if I need a model, I can find it at a lot of places. So there's just no desire to go there, unfortunately. So, but that's just me, right? Anybody else? Man, go there, check it out. It should be pretty cool. But for me, yeah, I'm not. I just have no desire to do it. So, no desire to do it. Okay, so let's pull back some of the other pieces here, especially these vents, because I want to work on these here a bit. We're gonna put the sawtooth over here. Let's talk about the bottoms here, because now, since I took that strip detail off of here, these are just dead flat right here, right? So what I figure I'm going to do is I'm going to plate this with a 0.5 millimeter sized plate, piece of styrene, and then just kind of do maybe just some minor detailing from that. So to do that, the first thing we have to do is take a template of the shape. So we're going to be using, just good old Scotch tape, just the frosty kind, not the glossy one, because then you're not going to be able to mark on it. But we're going to put this right on this flat surface. We're going to press that down nicely. And we're just going to take an outline of this in pencil. And there's my pencil. I found it. We just need to get that shape. So we're just going to kind of lightly sketch that onto the tape. Just like this. And basically what we're doing is we're making a template for this particular part. Okay. Alright, so we peel that off, and there you have the same shape. Just a template. Really easy to do, right? So what we need next is we need to find a 0.5 mil piece of plastic. Nope, not that. Here we go. That'll work. And we're just going to set this kind of right in the corner so we can minimize our plastic usage. Pop that right on there. Really easy. And now we're just going to cut this out. And to do that, we're going to get the big old Alpha knife. We're going to score that, bend and pop. We're just basically taking the excess plastic off of this thing to begin with. And then we'll go back and we'll really cut this thing down to its final size here in a minute. Okay. Yeah, throw that away. All right, so now we've kind of got our plastic piece trimmed up here. So now we have to do our final cuts on this template. just to get the outline of this shape in. And then we've got to trim it down to where it will fit nicely on the actual piece. So that'll be another step here that we got to do. So let's see, let's get ruler straightened out here. Okay, and we'll bend and pop this. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing all the way around, just to get these edges nice and straight. Ah, Arth Aurora. Great question. He says, Tim, I have Zach Aurelius' guide to Gunpla shopping in Japan, but was wondering if you had any recommendations of places to visit when I go on my vacation there. Wonderful question, actually. Yes, I do. So obviously go to Yodobashi, but don't buy anything there. Everything's pretty expensive there. If you can't find something, and I would make that as your last stop, because if you can't find something in the stores that you go to first, then chances are Yodobashi probably will have that because their selection is obviously legendary, right? But don't buy things like, new things there. Don't buy things that you can find at other stores there because their prices are pretty high comparatively to the other stores. If you want cheap kits, Tam Tam Hobbies. They're a chain store, and they're all over Tokyo. Even when you go down to Akihabara and you get off at the train station there, you'll see, you go out into the streets and you'll see at least 2 Tam Tam Hobby signs because there are multiple shops right in the Akihabara section, right? If you're looking for tools, the Volks store on top of I think it's Anime Circus, right outside of Akihabara Station. You walk right outside. There's a big red building right on the corner. The Volks store is the 9th floor, so you got to walk all the way up. There's no elevator or anything. That's the best place for tools, absolutely, hands down. They got a ton of tools. They got a ton of metal detail parts from Haikyuu, just decals for days, chisels, the whole 9 yards. So if you're looking for tools, that would definitely be the place to go. If you are looking for cheap kits, Tam Tam Hobby definitely is going to be the cheapest. I was there obviously in December of 2016. The RE Baowu had just come out. I got that for roughly 2,400 yen, 2,500 yen. Its going price at the time was 3,200. So I saved a pretty good amount of money on that kit buying it at Tam Tam. So they're not going to have the same selection as Yodobashi, obviously. But yeah, Tam Tam Hobby is definitely one of the better places to go. Zach's guide is just amazing. I actually used his videos when I went to Japan. So yeah, definitely have his guide in tow, and I think you'll do really, really well because I think pretty much Zach covered all of the good stores there in Akihabara. So that's a very good question. Very good question indeed. And then obviously you want to get out to Odaiba. You want to see the 1:1 scale unicorn. You want to go to Gundam Base, because there's nothing like it, obviously. And it's a good time. You can see all of the past GBWC winners. They did some commission pieces for Bandai, and you can see all of those. Those are still on display. So things from like Ide Ing and When I'm Ong and some of the other past winners. They all did specialized pieces for Gundam Base. and those are obviously still on display, and those are just really, really quite amazing. I've seen pictures of them, and they just are mind-blowing. So go there, definitely. Prices are still going to be retail, simply because it's a Bandai store and they can charge whatever the hell they want, but again, selection is probably going to be pretty damn good there. So, but yeah, great question, man. Great question indeed. Okay, so we've got this template cut out now, so let's peel the tape back off this thing, and then we'll compare the shape and size of this to the original piece. Okay, so there is our template, right? Obviously, it's beveled here on one side, but not the other. That's not the piece. This is the piece. Okay. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so sizing needs to be fixed a little bit, but I think on this corner here, I think that's going to be pretty good. This angle of this side here is way off. I can see that right now. This I didn't cut off nearly as much because there's definite overhang there. So we're going to need to fix that. So let's do that just real quick. We're going to trim these down to kind of a final size here momentarily anyway. And let's see, let's get a little bit more bevel in there. Let's see how that looks now. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. This is a nice even parallel line on this side here. I like that a lot. This bevel here is nice and parallel, and the bottom is nice and parallel, and this edge here is parallel. Now we have to worry about this point because this is a little off, and this obviously needs to be trimmed up a little bit, but that does look pretty good and parallel from what I can see so far. So fine-tune your templates here, guys, because that's going to be really important. You want to get the overall shape first, and then start to trim it back to fit the area that you want, obviously. There we go. Let's see. All right, so I just messed that angle up completely. So we need to bring it back. Let's see, we need to bring it back in this side more. Okay, let's see what that looks like here. A little bit more. Okay, I think we've achieved a good parallel there. Now we have to worry about this angle here, so we need to bring it back into the corner just a little bit more. Cool. Now that's a good parallel there. So now we've got the sides of this particular piece parallel with the original piece. So now we just have to trim it down to a constant border all the way around. So we just need to kind of whittle at this thing, right? So we're going to start with this side first because this side has the most plastic still left. So we'll just trim that down. Let's bring this back in and see. That's the right piece, not the wrong piece. Okay, so we want basically a like a 0.5 millimeter reveal all the way around. I think that'll be good, yeah? So, to do that, let's start sanding these pieces down, because these already have a decent sized border all the way around already. So we're just fine tuning these. Okay. Not bad, not bad. And you just want to keep going back and forth with this, and just keep checking your angles, keep checking your border, keep checking your width on all of the sides, because there's going to, it's basically just trial and error, this. Okay, so right around this edge and this edge is really good looking so far. Nicely and consistent. This edge looks really good. We need to bring off a little bit over here, and this angled corner we need to bring off a little bit more too. So then after that, I think this piece is going to be looking pretty good. Okay. It's getting there. It's getting really close, you guys. Getting really close to being perfect. Just a little bit more fine-tuning. Actually, I think we might be good. Yeah. You know what? I think we're good. I think that's a nice, consistent look. Now, one thing to keep in mind is, if you have a panel down here, it's not going to come up to a very sharp point. Sure, the piece is going to come up to a sharp point, but the panel itself is not. So I cut the tip off of this, and it just makes for a more realistic mechanical look. So you can kind of see there what that's going to look like, right? I think that's a much, much, much more realistic look. So we're going to go with that. All right. So let's get out our tweezers. Let's get out our Tamiya extra thin. We're going to lay this thing down, right? And then we're going to get caught up in the chat. And then I think that's going to be it for the night. So what I usually do, I have some super glue on the tweezers here. It's not good. All right, so what I usually do is just hold this right by the thinnest part, the tip right here, right? And then just get your Tamiya extra thin, just get it slathered up on this thing. Okay, and now we can lay this panel down and get it placed exactly where we need it. Lay a little bit of pressure down on that so it adheres properly. and then just start to do your final positioning of this particular piece. And there we go. I think we're good, right? Yeah, I think that looks good. Let's get super zoomed in on this. What do you say? There we go. All right, so let's see. Looks like a nice, even border all the way around. Yeah, happy with that. I'm happy with that. We can do more to that. We can add some panel lines to this. We can drill some holes in the corners to simulate bolts and things of that nature. There's a ton of things that we can do now with this as kind of a base, you know, to modify, to build off of, right? You don't want to do too much because obviously the underside of the shield is going to be jam-packed of you know, details and mechanicals and stuff like that. So you don't want to do a ton of stuff to this part, but you can jazz it up and make it look nice at the same rate. Another thing that I'm going to do to this these two parts is I'm going to scribe a border into the front here. So that'll be an offset color, which will make it look really, really nice, I think. So, all right. So that's enough shield for today. Let's get caught up with you guys in the chat, shall we? Let's get back to one stream. Let's tie a bow around this thing and let's get on with our lives. What do you guys say, right? Let's see here. All right. So looks like GizmoCon Gunpla has joined us. What's going on there? Let's get scrolled back up. Let's see what's what. Cool. Not a ton to catch up on, so that's good. Let's see. Terry T. has stopped at Gun & Planet after a 6-hour drive. Went there twice, and the folks there had been less than friendly both times. There are better hobby stores out there for sure. That's bad to hear. It's not very encouraging. And it's not the first time I've heard about that, Terry. So I'm sorry that you know, ran into that. If you happen to be anywhere near the Blackwood, New Jersey area, which you might not be, considering it was a 6-hour drive for you, hit up the Gundam Kitchen, man. Irad, the owner there, is the absolute man. You know, me and Justin go up there every once in a while, and we do classes there and stuff, and he's got, you know, potlucks and things going on practically every night in that place. He builds a community of people, which is really, really encouraging to see. And in the age of local hobby shops actually closing down, he's one of the rare few that his business is building. He has to move into a larger shop at the end of this month to basically continue to thrive. So you know he's doing something right. And Irad's just a good dude all together. So definitely check that out if you're in the area, or if you happen to drive by or whatever. Take a spin over to the Gundam Kitchen, man. It's awesome. Go like their Facebook page too, because they do the live sale streams a few times, you know, on Thursdays every month, and those are super entertaining as well. So they're man, good people, good store, good dude, Irad. So yeah. Dean says, Tim, what would you recommend for Gunpla shopping at LA? Good question. I've never been to LA, so I can't say for certain. There are probably some better people to ask than me. You know, folks out there, those, you know, ask those Gundam guys, because they're probably more familiar with the LA area than I would be, unfortunately. So yeah, I can't really say. So sorry, man. Oh yeah, okay. So Gizmo is there. He's actually one of those Gundam guys. So yeah, he's a good person to ask. So right there, cool. William Wilms, I enjoy going to Yodobashi for the new and regular release kits. Yeah, like I said, Yodobashi will have everything. Old kits, new kits, whatever. Hard to find kits, everything. They won't. I don't think they'll have P Bandai, but they have just a mind-blowing selection, right? But their prices are still pretty high comparatively, so yeah. Spider 2K2, Terry, I agree. Sometimes they are okay, but they feel a bit elitist since they run the store. If I could, I would rather try going to USA Gundam Store in Florida. Yeah, that was from James, Spider 2K2 over there on YouTube. RF Aurora, awesome. I'm staying at the hotel in Akihabara, so that helps a lot. Yeah, dude. Make sure you have like a pocket Wi-Fi. Make sure you rent one of those for however long you're going to be in Tokyo, because holy shit, they're a godsend. My wife and I, when we went in 2016, we rented one. And you can find websites to rent them. You can find websites to get Suica cards for the subway, the whole 9 yards, and you'll be completely covered. Make sure you rent up a pocket Wi-Fi, because that will keep you connected and basically on 4G or higher speeds at all times. We never hit a dead spot. Even underground in the subway, we never hit a dead spot. Those things are amazing, and they're cheap to rent too. So make sure you find a place online to rent one of those. You usually pick them up at the airport, and then you drop them off at the airport before you leave. So very convenient that way too. So, but make sure you rent one of those, because those are just super useful. So. Let's see. Gizmo Con Gunpla. I'm in Orange County, a little ways from LA. Is Brookhurst Hobby Homies, and Robots for Less in downtown Anime Jungle in Little Tokyo. Yeah, I've heard of Anime Jungle. They've got one in Japan. From what I've heard, they're impressive, but you have to hit them at the right time. So, let's see. Good stuff, good stuff. Let's keep going. Dean, what part of the Jesta is Tim working on? That's actually part of the shield part of the shield that goes there on that. It's basically where the little rockets are. So yeah, it's still a part of the shield. So good question. Let's see. Let's keep going, keep going, keep going. Everybody's talking about stuff in LA. Very cool. Let's see. William Williams. I would normally go to Hobbytown USA for paints and plastics, and then order my Gundams from USA Gundam Store. Yeah, that seems fair. Everybody likes USA Gundam Store. Cool. Yor was one of USA Gundam Store's earliest customers. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm sure Adam will love to hear that. That's cool. That's cool. RF Aurora, I would drive 12 hours to go to your classes at the Gundam Kitchen again. That's awesome, dude. That's good to hear. Once IRAD gets moved to the new location, I think we're going to have the next class in the latter part of November, but don't hold me to that. We want to do Scratch Building 2.0. Basically a redo of the very first class that Justin and I did, and you know, a lot of scratch building, hands-on demos, things of that nature. So it should be a really good time. So keep an eye out for that, you know, on my social media, obviously, but then also on the Gundam Kitchen Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff. They post all sorts of things there. So yeah, keep track of it, man. So that's awesome. And you wouldn't be the first one to drive 12 hours either. Let's see. One guy drove 11 hours. One of the other Silver Stray from GBA, he drove, I think, 8 or 9 hours or something like that. So if you did drive 12 hours, you'd probably be the longest, but only by about an hour. So, but that would still be awesome if you came. So very cool. Let's see. He says, dang, I'll be in Japan the middle of November. Yeah, you know what? Well, I should say, like I said, the latter part of November. And even then, it's going to be tough with Thanksgiving and everything. So it may extend to maybe the first week or so of December. I don't know. It depends on when IRAD it gets the shop up and running and everything, because I know November is going to be packed for me. Because like I said, the 10th, I want to try to get out to Orange County for SCGMC, and then the 17th I have a family thing in Virginia, and then obviously November at the end, you know, is going to have Thanksgiving, so you're going to get maybe a week in there you know, well, I'm going to get about a week in there of freedom. So November is going to be tough, you guys. It's going to be really tough. So fun times, right? Fun times. So cool. All right. Awesome. We are caught up. That's awesome, you guys. That's awesome. Okay, so let's start to wrap this thing up, shall we? So the tools and stuff like that I used today, the NT cutter blade, the tweezers, all that good stuff, the chopper especially, you can find on the Amazon link just below. That stuff has already been sourced out for you. I've already pulled that together in one neat little page that you can, you know, get all that stuff off of. Most of it's on Prime too, because I'm a big Prime supporter. I love, you know, buying shit off Prime, getting it the next day or 2 days later or whatever. So most of that stuff is on Prime. You know, I got a ton of books for you to look at, to gain inspiration off of. We cover a lot of them on the live streams here in the past few months. And then also it has a section for streaming gear and stuff like that, if that's something that you're interested in getting into, right? Sourced a whole bunch of gear for that, the stuff that I use to make this stream possible, and also Gunpla Talk as well. So that's on there. Hit the little, you know, little description down there on YouTube, or over on that side on Facebook, a little bit later on Twitch, and go crazy. Go crazy. That's all I could say, right? There may be tools on there that you're not even aware of, right? So we'll start to take a look at individual tools and stuff like that here very soon, because I'm starting to run out of books, you guys. You guys are tapping me out on these books here at this point. So maybe we'll switch to tools and you know, kind of look at a single tool a night, and I'll tell you like the uses and stuff like that for them and all that good stuff. But you know, those are things that I kind of enjoy doing anyway. So we'll do that here sometime soon. Get you one of these. All it takes is a donation to the Gunpla Talk fundraiser / giveaway, right? We're raising money for the National Alopecia Areata Foundation. It's a great cause and a wonderful charity. One lucky donor will win that. 6 others will win Mr. Wins, Mr. Paint Pushers, you know, the little miniature busts and stuff. Those are super awesome. He included autographed cards of his little Gundam portraits, you guys, and they're super cool because you actually fold out a tab and they stand up like an easel. Like, how cool is that, right? So he autographed 6 of those, so those will be included in the busts. 6 donors will win that. And then a couple other donors will win some stuff coming from our friend A. Schultz, Berkanatir over there on Facebook. P-Bandai Polypod, some BMC chisels, and some other cool little goodies that he's sending our way to give away as well. So thank you, Ace / Berkana, for that. That is awesome. Also, too, if you want to get you a Child of Mecha shirt, I know a couple of you have them out there. You can definitely get one on the Child of Mecha store. Hit up childofmecha.com, hit the store link at the top. You can go there and get t-shirts, get hats, get bags, some other goodies here in the near future. And so yeah, so it's an awesome time. So 12:09, not a bad time to stop, you guys. So with that being said, thank you for watching. All you new guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Dean and you know, Hellstring, Oz Unit, and all those guys for, you know, kind of coming in and talking with us and everything. Man, come on back on Friday. That's awesome to have you guys watching and stuff. So welcome to the family. That's super cool to see, man. Super cool. So, all right. So guys, until next time, we'll see you back here on Friday. Be safe. Enjoy the rest of your week. Go build something cool. Do some teeth or something, you know, just do some of these. These are cool, right? So do all that stuff, but be safe. Have fun. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.